Hello, everybody. Welcome to Candid and Uncut Episode 1. My name is Adam, and I'm with my friend Roston, also known as Ross from Unova, on
What's up?
every platform, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, go check out Ross from Unova on YouTube, RossFromunova.
Thank you.
Sitting at 360 right now,
Just about, yeah.
somewhere around there.
Yep.
Sweet.
And Laughable Games. Don't forget to check out Laughable Games.
You can check out Laughable Games too. I think we're at like 258. Honestly, I have no idea when we're gonna post next, if we post. This episode, we are in January 4th. It is 2023, which is freaking nuts. I remember, I think I was in 6th grade when Black Ops 2 came out, and that takes place in 2025.
Ooh, yeah.
And that is 2 years from now. Like in 2025, my daughter will be talking back to me. Like I'll be able to talk to her and she'll say words and walk. And then that same kind of period in time, my brother, do you ever take class pictures in like our intermediate school where you sat in the library and it said like class of whatever?
Yeah.
I remember mine, it was like class of 2019. And I was like, man, that's so far away. It's like 2010, 2011, whatever. And then I graduated and I was like, holy shit, that took like 30 seconds to get to. But I remember seeing my brothers, and it was class of 2025. I was like, 2025? Like, we're not even going to make it there. Like, that's so far in the future. But now it's January 2023, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to talk about, like, just the 20s. Like, we're already 3 years into the 20s.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
2020 just kind of flew by, and then everything else just kind of fell into line.
Like, it's crazy because, COVID, of course, happened, and we had to go on lockdown for, what, like 8 months? Something like that. If not, like, a whole year with restrictions and stuff. But now, like, everything is back to normal. Pretty much. There with hospitals and stuff, you still have to go with masks and everything, but like it's all normal again. It's so weird that it happened so quick because we all wanted it to be normal, but now it's normal and it still kind of feels off.
And it wasn't like it just like happened. It was super gradual. So like I couldn't pinpoint when everything went back to normal per se. Like, so when I went to school, when I first went to college, like we still had to wear like masks to class and stuff. And then second semester rolled around and all of a sudden they were all all lifted.
That's nuts. And then, like I worked retail in September of 2020. And like we had an occupancy limit that was like half of what we could actually like legally hold. Yeah. And I had to make sure that I told people, hey, wear masks, because I did product protection or loss prevention or whatever. And one, the amount of people so you think, the closer you get to a major city, the more progressive it gets.
Yeah.
In St. Joseph, Missouri, they don't give a fuck. So I'll be like, hey, store policy, we require you to wear a mask, even though we can't force you. So if you walk through the store without a mask, I can't do anything about it unless you're like obnoxious and cough on people. But people be like, oh, you dumb little bitch, you Nazi, I can't believe it. And I'm like, just doing my job.
All right, man.
Just wild that we're already seemingly out the door with the 20s, even though we're right into it. And on top of that, we both turned 20 in the 2020s.
Yup.
And I feel old as hell. Like, I have a daughter, all this. I'm only 21, and you're only 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned 20 last year.
Yeah, like I turned 22 in April, but still, I'm only 21. I feel like a 35-year-old man. I feel like I've wasted everything, but like every job that I've had, they're like, oh, you're such a baby. Like I worked at a bar when I was 18, and I was like, yeah, I'm 18. I'm in, my first semester of college. They're like, you're only 18? I was like, yeah. And they're like, dude, what are you doing here? Or like even the job that I have now. I was talking to my boss, and he's like 30, and he was like,
Oh
"Oh, you're 21. You're such a baby." And I was like, like 30. You're young too. I don't know what you're talking
yeah.
about."
I
Um,
feel I don't know. I feel like you're still pretty young at 30. Like I don't think that's
exactly.
that
Like
that
normally,
old.
I feel like the norm is like have kids at 30. Like that's
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
or normal. I can't
Yeah.
speak on normal. My entire family's young, but
Yeah. Just
um,
keeping the tradition rolling.
yeah. My brother he's still got us to get out of his teenage years before he.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
but I want to talk about 2023. I feel like personally, I think 2022 was the most serious that I've been about, I guess, life and what I want to
Hmm.
do. Well, as serious as I can be, I, you know, started exercising, eating well in 2022, and
Oh yeah.
um, lost the bulk of my weight, I guess, in 2021, but I still have, some to go. But 2022 is when I started taking it seriously. So I wanted to talk about this year in 2023. What are some goals, ambitions? What do you think this year will bring, both to you, but also just to everybody in general?
Yeah. Um, we talking like resolutions almost? Like
Yeah, I'd say, I guess, resolutions. I'm not a huge fan of like, oh yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym every
yeah, yeah.
day, but something realistic. Like, what do you think you can achieve, and what are you working to achieve in 2023?
Well, I've been trying to learn Japanese actually, like for a little while, but I've started taking it more seriously here the past few weeks, and it's a really weird goal, but I want to get a 365-day streak on Duolingo. Um, and then with that, I've decided that once I finish the schooling I'm going to now, I'm going back to school to get my English major. And eventually, I want to go teach English in Japan. So I guess just kind of working towards that right now. And we were looking at colleges yesterday, and I think I found the one I'm going to. Not next year, but the year after. So I'm pretty excited for that.
For your English stuff?
Yeah. So it'll
Sweet.
be just a major in English. When I go, I'll technically be a junior. So I think I'll have to go for 2.5 years. And basically, that'll give me a degree. The only thing I really need to go teach English in Japan would be an English degree or bachelor's. And then I'd have to apply through a program, of course. But then I could also be a teacher here in America with that as well. So be kind of cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Um, we have a couple friends that have some pretty long streaks on Duolingo. I think both Dylan
Yeah.
and Aaron are, I don't know, 2, 3 years deep into it, something like that. I know
Yeah.
Aaron, it's part of his routine. So, um, I'm not too serious about it, but last year, I had already known a little bit of sign language, just the
Hmm.
basics. I used thank you a lot. I use it even when I say thank you.
Yeah.
Um, but I use it a lot. But we have a, or we had, I've been on leave for the past two
Yeah.
months, but we had a delivery driver that was deaf. And so I had learned some phrases to say to her,
Okay.
like, oh, hold on a minute, we're working on it. Have a nice night, thank you, stuff like that. And so I'd
Hmm.
picked up a little bit of sign language to talk, and that's something
Yeah,
I'd like to continue to just casually go through. But
for sure.
so far for these past 4 days, um, I have so many notebooks, and they're all full of just whatever I've been working on at that time.
Hmm.
But I actually had a notebook with Minecraft coordinates in it for some of the Minecraft
Oh,
worlds I had, and I had ripped out all those pages, and I've been journaling in that notebook. And so
hell yeah.
I've already written probably 30, 40 pages in these past 4 days. So
That's awesome.
um,
What do you just kind of been writing down your thoughts or like just stuff
just
you want to work on?
no, literally whatever I'm thinking at that point. So there's stuff that I want to work on. There's some feelings in there. There's some ideas I have. There's goals, ambitions. There's I'm complaining, I'm bitching in it, and it's something that I hope, one, I know for a fact that I don't know if you can see, sorry for all the audio listeners, but the big part is the stuff I haven't written, but the little
Yeah,
part is the stuff I have. And
that's
I'm
that's
already
a lot in
yeah,
4 days.
I'm already that far into it. So I think my goal for that is to burn through that notebook, at least get through one notebook, and which if I continue every day, some days may have less, some days may have way more, but
Hmm.
I overthink a lot, so I just feel like writing it down and getting it out might help. I'm also
Yeah,
trying to be way more positive in general. And so if I have
yeah,
anything to complain about, like, my relationship, or if something's frustrating me, or if, one of my friends does something that frustrates me, like I can just hit that.
hmm,
It's
yeah.
totally fine and just not be as
It's
negative.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, I'm not a big reader. Uh,
Mm.
in fact, I spend a lot of time on my phone, like way too much. Like, not counting YouTube, because I'll throw YouTube on to do chores
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But not counting YouTube, before I deleted TikTok, I was averaging like 8 hours of screen time, and it was freaking
Yeah.
bonkers. And so I had initially set up a time limit on TikTok, but then anytime I'd hit that time limit, I set it like 40 minutes or something like that. Every time I'd hit that limit, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm at work. I'm on my lunch break. I'll just ignore the limit and just keep watching TikTok." And then my
Mm.
lunch break
Yeah.
would melt through, and I'd be like, "Well, I didn't get a break, and now I feel unsatisfied." And so I just ended up deleting TikTok, and
Yeah.
I'm not missing anything from it. I actually have been so cool without it. And if
Yeah.
any of you out there watch TikTok, I don't hate you for it. I think TikTok's awesome. Like, if I still had it, I would still use it. I
Mhm.
just couldn't be wasting, and that automatically cut out like 3 hours of screen time a day. And
Yeah.
so, um,
Yeah, that just frees up so much more time to do other things as well.
like,
And
even
like,
like, I'm so passionate about like sports and video games, and so I've had
mhm,
so much more time to just watch the sports that I want to watch and like actually
mhm.
digest them. And then video
Yeah.
games, I got in this really bad habit of having TikTok or YouTube or music on while playing video games, and so I didn't like enjoy it. Probably for my first 10, 15 hours of Cyberpunk, I like, it just felt like like, it felt like it was melting my brain because I had
Mm.
so much stimulation and so much
Yeah.
media going on at the same time. And
Yeah.
so I stopped doing that. I deleted TikTok, and I just enjoyed it. Like, I just put my headphones on or had the TV up and just listened to
Mhm.
the video game soundtracks. I've even started playing. This is a big thing among like us and our friends, is that I don't play
Mhm.
mobile games or handheld games with
Oh,
sound on. I've started
yeah.
doing that. Like,
Hey.
it's crazy. I still don't have the Dokkan music on, but uh, I don't like
Man. Can
hearing
you
Goku scream at me all the time.
Oh, you can't hear the screaming either? So
Yeah.
you have, like, all the sound off for Dokkan?
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't played Dokkan in forever.
I had about, I think I was at day 80, and I guess I hadn't logged on in time. And so I lost my 79-day streak. And so I was like,
Oh,
nah, I'll just whatever. So I
yeah.
didn't play it for like 2 months. And then they
Mhm.
just came out with the superhero, the Beast Gohan and the Orange
Mm.
Piccolo. So I hopped back on, and I've been playing it.
That's sick.
I've been playing it for that, and I've done so many summons and haven't gotten anything. I haven't even got the gammas. Um,
Man.
but yeah, I've tried to cut out the amount of stimulation I have,
Mhm.
and it's been working. I'm trying to do it slowly. Right now, I have the downtime on my phone. It kicks in at 9 p.m. I have Snapchat available, and then uh, Dokkan and Mahjong available. Those are like my entertainment. And Snapchat I only have available because I literally, like, I use that more than I use call
Yeah.
or text.
Mhm.
So I have that on. I have a time limit on Twitter and a time limit on Instagram. The Instagram one doesn't hurt me as much because I just simply don't really use Instagram. But
Yeah.
Twitter, I could sit on Twitter for probably hours. And
That's
so
how I am.
I have a 30-minute timer on that. At first, I thought I was like, oh man, I went from being on Twitter for, I don't know, hour, 2 hours a day to just 30 minutes a day. But I've been trying to hang
Mhm.
in there. I haven't ignored the limit at all. I've been just letting it ride, and it hasn't affected me at all. I haven't missed anything. So far it's
Mhm.
going well. Um, So I'm excited to see what my cell phone screen time is this next week.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that I've been doing is I've just been trying to read more books. I'm not a big reader, so I have a few books that I need to read. I have a couple books that my mom got me for Christmas, and I
Heck yeah.
bought a book at Target the other day that I'm really excited to
What
read.
book are you
So,
reading?
um, it's called Badass Habits by
Okay.
Jen Sincero or something like that.
Heck
I'll
yeah.
be honest, it's a self help book.
Mm.
I'm just trying to get better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've read a couple here recently, self-help wise. I'm reading a Jordan Peterson book actually, and I don't agree with a lot of things Jordan Peterson says. Not a huge fan of the guy. However, I know he's a pretty good author, so I picked up his 12 Rules to Life, and it's been a pretty decent book so far. And then I'm also reading The Hobbit as well, so that's not really self-help, but it's fun.
You got to have a little bit of fun in there. You know, I feel
Hmm.
like if you do
Yeah.
something like I'll just speak out of experience. I get so invested in so much that I do that I get so burnt out so quick. Like I don't just
Hmm.
take the time to enjoy it. If I've made YouTube videos on my channel, I make them every single day. I try to
Yeah.
film all the time. I try to edit all the time. Like I just
Hmm.
love it, but then I get so burnt out. I'm like I just can't keep doing this. Like I can't live a normal day and vlog
Hmm.
it because some days I just literally lounge with my family and just do the stuff I need to do.
Yeah.
I don't and then I saw myself trying to force things like I'm gonna go on a walk so I could talk to my camera. But like at that time, I'm like I had already been on a walk. I'd already settled down, taken a shower, and I just, you know. But yeah,
Hmm.
having something else in the mix like that,
Yeah.
that's good. Um, what do you think this year will bring universally? What do you think is something that the masses will kind of take up and run
Huh.
with, or what do you think will be the big thing this year?
I feel like Meta is gonna come out with some crazy shit this year. I feel like it's kind of been teased for a while, and like they've kind of got like this baseline technology that's like it's kind of laughable if we're being honest. Like graphics wise, it's the metaverse is not what it's been hyped up to be. However, I know Mark Zuckerberg, that's his name, right? He was on like Joe Rogan's podcast talking about like different technologies he has ready. And I feel like this year is probably the year where something comes out that kind of changes the whole VR game. At least I hope so, because I really like the whole VR thing. I just don't feel like it's at the point yet where it needs to be, but I think it will be this year.
I was actually going to say something around the same. I think that either gaming in general
Hmm.
will change completely, or at least we'll start to see the baby steps into that. Obviously, you can't, throw someone in like a chamber and be like, okay, video game, boom, and then
Yeah,
you live the video game. But I think that,
would be cool.
oh yeah, it'd be dope.
Yeah.
But I think that we'll see some sort of advancement in living
Hmm.
through a game, which is what Meta has done pretty
Yeah.
successfully, at least since they, teamed up with Oculus and came out with that new headset and stuff like that in the new program.
Hmm.
Because I remember I had a friend back in 8th grade. His family had the Oculus, and that's when it first kind of,
Hmm.
the VR thing first kind of started. And you had the sensors all around and stuff,
Yep.
um, and it was just like silly things, like little movies or just small
Hmm.
little games where you could just like pick something up off a table and be like, "This is crazy." But just from what
Yeah.
I've seen, I haven't messed around with the Quest at all, but it looks so much more advanced and so much more
Yeah.
fun than the Oculus was
Hmm.
back then. So I think
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see haptic gloves where you can use your hands instead of the wands. I don't know if we'll see haptic suits that you step into and you can feel, which I already know they have like
Hmm.
vests and stuff that react
Yeah.
to stuff like that. But I think that the way you can experience a game will be different. Of course, I think that that will also bring in a new way that people will make money. I already know there's people that make money in the metaverse, but
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be a whole new game. At least we'll start to see those baby steps. And with everything, I think with crypto, there was NFTs. So I think, this will
Yeah.
have something that falls off of it, but there will be something that sticks pretty hard and it'll
Yeah.
it'll catch pretty good. Um, and then moving on from that, so we just talked about what do we think will happen universally? What do you think that, the big thing will be in 2023? What are some things in 2022 that think influenced you the most? It could be media, it could be
Hmm.
people, it could be ideas, something that you learned. Um, it could be anything. What do you think transformed you, or at least changed you and made you a different person in 2022 than you were in 2021, or even now, like 2023?
Hmm. I think this year is definitely the year that I found the most like it's the year I've listened to the most podcasts. I would say like I kind of found a love for different shows. Um, two shows that stand out would be the Sunday Sauce show. It was Philly and Original 151. They actually stopped doing it, so it's no longer being made. But just hearing both of them talk about their journey with content, what they've done, like through schooling, stuff like that. We kind of have a similar thing that we both went to film school at first, and then he like does Pokemon content as well. So like just kind of hearing his like story there kind of like
And that's
inspired
the
me.
that's the original 151, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then probably the H3 podcast as well. I started listening to that a lot more recently too. And just overall, like the effort they put into that show is crazy. Um, and I feel like they have like a political one too, so like kind of getting more in tune with politics because of that. So I definitely say those have influenced me the most this year.
Yeah, I think I started listening to a lot more um not quite serious, but podcasts
Mm,
with serious tones to it. One podcast that it changed me. It completely changed me. It was probably the biggest change a piece of media has had on me um since Everybody by Logic came out.
mm,
For those of you who know me, I like Logic. Everybody kind of made me think about stuff differently. I mean, that's the entire
yeah,
point of the album, is to make you think about literally everybody. And
yeah,
before that, we lived in a small town, full of just tunnel vision, you know, single focused people. And I think that
hmm,
not in a weird or cringy way. I think it enlightened me a little bit and helped me open up. But
yeah.
podcast called American Glutton, by Ethan Suplee. He's the guy that plays Randy in My Name Is Earl.
Ooh.
He's the massive dude and Remember the Titans. He's in some View Askew movies, if not all of them, which is like Jay and Silent Bob, Mallrats, Clerks. Those. Um, Dude is, he went from being just massive, like
Hmm.
500 pounds, to just jacked. And he has a lot of people that know what they're talking about on his podcast. And being a heavy guy, I'm nowhere near 500 pounds,
Hmm.
and when I was 300 pounds, I wasn't even, 350. I was 320, which is still quite a bit and way more than I wanted to get to. But after listening to that podcast and making some
Hmm.
drastic changes that I ended up turning into just lifestyle changes, I didn't, I did a liquid diet for 15 days and I shed 25 pounds. But I did that to get me out of the 300s. And then once I was out of the
Hmm.
300s, I made lifestyle changes to stay out of it. And then I was still able to eat. And, you know, like my eating disorder is that I just love food. And so I just eat and eat and eat. And so
Yeah.
not eating really gave me an appreciation for eating. And so
Hmm.
I made sure to not take my food for granted. But um, he just talks about different mentalities going into dieting. He's like, it won't work. It won't work perfectly every time. I've lost hundreds of pounds and then gained those same hundreds back. He's like, I even had um, like skin reduction surgery, and then I ended up tearing that open and then getting fatter. Like, what's the point of getting
Hmm.
all of your loose skin taken off if you're just gonna stretch it out even more? And he's
Yeah.
like, he has a guest on. I can't quite remember the episode, but he talks about this kill your clone idea where hits midnight every night, and you have to kill the version of you from yesterday. 24 hours ago. Are you at least a fifth of a percent better in any sort of way than the person you were yesterday? And so that I've really taken in strides, and I've tried to apply that to literally anything. And I try to remember it's not just dieting, it's not just exercise, it's literally anything, whether that's, like I have a bad habit of cursing. And so I try to not curse at particular points. And that's something they point out too. They're like, say you chain smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Just one of those cigarettes, chew a piece of gum, pick one cigarette to eat a piece of candy or go on a walk or something, so that the next time you go to have a cigarette, you think about that and then you do that instead. And so it's a slow way of kind of waning off of that habit and addiction. And so that's something that I've tried to do where, instead of cursing, I'll snap. Like I'll just clench my teeth or something. And I've tried to apply that to almost everything. So I think the American Glutton podcast by Ethan Suplee is the number one thing that influenced me in 2022. You said you said that you were learning Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And you are a PokeTuber. I'm not gonna hold that as a cage over you, but that is the main thing you make.
Yeah.
So on top of video games and trying to learn a new language, what are other hobbies you've been enjoying recently? I know that you have a new day job, and so that probably promotes what I'll let you talk about that, but that probably promotes what you do in your normal life.
Yeah.
And then, we both like video games, so if you're playing anything new, talk about it.
So I work at Supplement Superstore now, so I sell supplements basically. But really, like the main thing with that job is like it's cool because like there's people who come in all the time, like regularly. So we get to like meet these people, get to know these people, and really see their progress and help them. So it's cool being able to like give somebody advice and then seeing it work for them. So just trying to get better at that, getting better at like communicating with people, just being a better coach, learning more about nutrition, trying to push myself to learn more about certain products every day has been a lot of fun. And with that, I've just been kind of continuing my own fitness journey. I kind of have like mini goals I try to hit. So this year I'm trying to hit 350 pounds on squat because my squat is horrible. And then I want to hit 250 pounds on bench because right now it's 230. So I'd like to get it up to 250. But other than that, that's mostly the fitness part of my life right now, is just kind of that and kind of like figuring out my diet and workout plan as I go. I change it up all the time just because I'll get bored of one and then I immediately change it up so I don't like just quit, because I feel like if I stick to the same thing for too long, I'll definitely quit. So I try to keep it changed up. And then like video game wise, other than Pokemon, it's mostly I'll play Fortnite with you guys. And I started playing High on Life. I haven't been able to play it much, but I've beaten the first boss, and so far it's been a really fun game.
First boss is 9 Torg, right?
Yep.
Did you kill 5 Torg?
I did.
Let's go!
I did.
I killed her with Knifey.
I did too. No reason to. I just saw her. Yeah. So I just started stabbing.
Yeah, I saw she had a health bar, so I was like, yeah, I'll kill her. Why not?
Yeah. I saw the health bar. I was like, she's so helpless. Like, what? Why? And then I was like, oh well. And then I did it. I was like, fuck it.
Even Kenny's like, oh yeah, I guess we killed her. I guess second boss beat. Cool. I don't know what the point was, but we did it.
Did you kill the kid?
Yeah. You get an achievement for it. Yeah.
Immediately. I didn't let him finish a sentence. Just
for real? Him. You kill him, and then you meet his mom, and his mom is like...
Immediately.
Yeah, you're like, wow, you killed him. Well, he had it coming, but wow, I can't believe you just killed my son like that. You killed a kid. He is annoying, and he does that all the time. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, but wow, you really did kill my child. Okay.
And then she's like, he is an infant, but like he's 45 years old, though, so to you, he had a long life, but to us, he's still an infant. You know, you still killed a child.
Yeah, I
For those wondering, we are talking about a video game, by the way. We didn't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
shoot some random kid on the street.
What's the achievement called? It's like Fallout won't let you do this or something
Yep,
like
Fallout
that.
won't let you do
Yeah.
this.
Um, and I'll ride Xbox here. I tend to lean toward Xbox. I play PlayStation. I still play my Switch and everything like that now, but
Yeah.
I primarily play on an Xbox. I think right now, since Game of the Year has already been announced for this past year, starting fresh, I think High on Life right now has got to be in Game of the Year discussions. I know we still have 365 days to talk about it, but High on Life is pretty damn good. It's pretty good. And I've seen very limited, if any, like Rick and Morty.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm not entirely sorry, I just got a text.
Oh, you're all good.
So I'm not entirely like a Justin Roiland fan, but he's good. He's funny.
Yeah.
He makes it funny. My only complaint about High on Life is that it's the weird Morty humor where he just stutters all the time and tries to make it kind of awkward, but I get it. Like I get it. And I mean Kenny isn't the only like gun you use that talks, so he doesn't do it all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually learned the other day that Justin Roiland is Oscar in fish hooks, like the curly haired fish.
Oh, yeah.
And he's Lemon Grab, which as soon as I heard
I didn't know Lemon Grab.
as soon as I heard Lemon Grab, I was like, holy shit, that is him. Like I was watching an interview because I would like to try Rick and Morty at some point.
That's great. I didn't realize he was Lemon Grab. I
didn't
knew the one
either.
about Fish Hooks. Fish Hooks is a good show.
I remember
liked
it being
that show.
fire. I remember it being good. But I was watching an interview, had no idea he was Lemon Grab, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, holy shit, that is him.
Yeah.
He talked about all of these voices he does, and I was like, I'll be honest, it's kind of the same voice. Like you just kind of do the same voice. And then he was like, yeah, I talk about acting and stuff, but my range is really limited. It just kind of all sounds like Morty. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's I've been playing. I'm taking a break from Near Replicant right now because I pounded like it's that same thing where I just got hooked on it. I played like 40 hours of it nonstop. I say nonstop, but it's the only game I played, within that time. And I just kind of got a little burnt out on it. Great, fantastic game. Love the soundtrack, but just needed a break. Plus the new Fortnite chapter came out and it is incredible. I love seeing people bitch about it because they're just bitching to bitch.
Yeah.
The hammer is OP. Like Ninja's like the hammer's stupid. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, shut up, Ninja. Shut up.
You just hate fun. You hate having fun.
You know what you're doing. Like you have a voice to change things. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, that came out. High on Life came out, and I saw that it was an Xbox exclusive. So I was like, I'll try it. I'll whatever.
Yeah.
Turns out to be pretty fun. I'm not crazy far in it, but I've killed three bosses. So
you can watch like whole movies in your living room. The Tammy and the T-Rex or whatever.
Yeah.
Where Paul Walker gets his heart put into a dinosaur or something. So stupid.
Oh, what else? I've been playing a lot of Nintendo Switch Sports. That's been really fun. I have my freaking elbows are sore from playing like badminton and tennis. Like I'm getting tennis elbow from playing Switch Sports. Actually, right now my left arm is sore because instead of just hooking up a second right Joy-Con, I just used the left one. I was like, man, that feels weird on my right hand, so I just switched everything to left-handed.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie, I beasted on hose, but it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
Do they have bowling still?
Yeah. The bowling's fun. Yeah. The bowling's pretty fun. Yeah, I've been enjoying games and stuff. Other hobbies I have. Honestly, I'm taking care of my little girl. That's really about it. I don't have the money to buy cards right now. I don't, any of that. Me and my family are going to Kentucky, to see my fiance's grandparents because they haven't met our daughter yet. But, other than that, travel. That's all I've been doing. I would like to start posting YouTube videos again. I know I have a channel that, got 80 subscribers in like 2 months, a month and a half. I don't know how. Well, I guess I know how. I knew what I was doing when I did all the Pokemon stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that channel just because I'm not in it, but
Oh yeah.
I'd like to start posting like Adam Petty content again on my
Oh yeah.
other channel. I don't know if I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't. I think that I can vlog. I think that I do it well enough,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I want to keep all those other videos up. I might as well. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's something I want to get into, and I just don't know what I would do, honestly.
That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, I yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about. Do you have anything you want to bring up or talk about? Anything you're
Um,
excited for?
I would say just like it's mostly I'm just excited to see what we can do this year. Especially because like sorry, my headset's being weird. Um, like the podcast is something I've been wanting to start back up again for quite a
Me
while
too.
now.
Me too. It's just so nice to make.
It's
Like
like it's
regardless of whatever podcast, and we'll still throw
yeah.
this up with the Elysium branding on it.
Mhm.
But like, it's just fun to talk to people, and especially on the other
Yeah.
podcast. I'm not, I'm not great friends. I'm friendly with those guys, but I don't get to talk to them very much. So whenever I do
Yeah.
interact with them, it's always a good time.
And well, I'm just super excited to start this podcast. This is one that I've always had the most fun with. It's always been super chill. We just kind of get to shoot the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And that I'm just excited to see what both of us do content wise this year. Excited to see where Laughable Games goes. I'm really hoping to hit all of my goals this year. Hopefully, I can buy one of those hoodies eventually that you got on.
Oh no, this is bootleg. This isn't even our logo. Our logo is like
It's close enough.
our logo is like a GameCube controller.
Oh, it is.
But yeah,
You got the
I mean,
Xbox 360.
it's in like Times New Roman. I love it. Obviously, I'm wearing it. It fits great, but it's like
I gotta get one in Comic Sans. A Comic Sans Laughable Games hoodie.
spicy.
That would
Spicy.
go crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, just content wise, I'm excited to see what we do this year. I think me and Cutter are doing the D&D podcast, so I'm really excited to see where that goes.
all I'm saying is that I just got that tabletop cyberpunk book, cyberpunk
Ooh.
podcast, and maybe we all get together, make a cyberpunk campaign.
Dude, if we could actually do that. Like we could get together, film like 3 episodes a month. Just one day a month we meet up and film 3 episodes.
Fuck it,
3 weeks on, 1 week off.
I would drive to your all's area. I know that you're not,
That would be I mean, I'm down for whatever.
you guys have the experience of building a campaign, and I'm just invested in the world. That's all it is.
Dude, seriously though, think about that. Just once a month, like one whole day, like 10 hours of filming, 3 episodes, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. I'm just saying, I think we could do it.
Hey, Cutter, I'm going to make you listen to this. I know you don't really frequent any of my content too much. I actually don't even know if you frequent Roston's content too much.
He doesn't. He told me the other day, he was like, I don't think I've watched any of your videos. I was like, that's cool, man. That's completely fine.
Just be honest about it. No, Cutter, I'll make you listen to it. We're making a cyberpunk podcast, Cyberpunk Red, and you're going to meet up with us at least once a month. You've got to have a day free.
We will kidnap you.
Facts.
The deer guys can wait for a day. No free promo on here.
the deer guys. It took me a second. I was like, man, who are the deer guys? I get it. The horny deer people.
Yeah, technically he is. I mean, do you see him smoke that deer the other night?
I saw his car. I didn't even know that was horrible. I didn't even know that was him until he texted me a picture of it. Or he didn't send me a picture. He was like, yeah, it's going to cost me $1,000. I was like, oh shit, that was you? I was just tapping through stories. I was like, oh fuck, they had a deer. I didn't even check to see
it. It was a 6-pointer. It was like I drove to his house the next day, just sitting on the side of the road,
Did he
dead as
harvest it?
hell. I told him to mount it. He's like, "Well, the meat's pretty bruised up, but I could probably mount it."
Bro,
It'd be such a stupid mount. It's literally just a 6-point, like
just
doe, not doe. I don't know deer.
I don't either. Just everything tastes the same when it's dehydrated. Take the entire deer,
Just
make
throw
it
in a dehydrator.
make it in a jerky, and then give it all to me. That's all I'm saying.
I have one topic I want to talk about.
Okay.
So, do you have anybody that'll like hit you up about supporting your content or like asking you to support what they're doing? But then when they talk about supporting you, it's very obvious they have never once watched a single video of yours.
Not really. I think the closest I get to that is like my mom has got to be like the fakest fan ever. She made me the pin. Her and her boyfriend made me the hoodie. But I'll talk about, Laughable Games has a video that's at like I'm lying, like 35,000 views,
Yeah.
and another one that's at like 5 to 7. I haven't checked.
Mhm.
And I'll talk about that. And she's like, "It did that well?" I'll be like, "Yeah." And then a couple of our newer videos have like 150 views, and she'd be like, "You have other videos?" I'm like, yeah. We don't post that often. We only posted like 4 times in 2022. Like
She's like, I thought you only post golf with friends. That's
No, she was like, "Man, I'm still on like Reagan Gorbachev, which we haven't played in like 2 years."
I was gonna say that was like the first episode.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna pause this really quick. I'm so sorry for the listeners. Okay, I'm back. The lady has to go into work for a little bit, so I just needed to touch base with her. No, my mom is probably the fakest fan though. Do you have a problem with people doing that?
Yeah, it's not really like it doesn't make me mad. I just think it's kind of funny. So I actually have 2 things to talk about now because I just saw something on Twitter during our little break.
Okay.
But I'll talk about what we're already talking about first. So this guy, I won't say his name, but he's always hit me up asking me to like support his artistic endeavors, and I'm always willing to. I'm always willing to give something a listen or give an opinion, lend my ear.
Right.
And but every time I do it, he'll be like, "Yeah, man," and I've really been loving what you've been doing. I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he was like, "Yeah, your last workout vlog was really good." For those of you that don't know, I make Pokemon content. The last time I made a workout vlog was senior year of high school. So 2 years ago. I have not touched a workout vlog in that long. And I actively post like probably 5 videos a week. So like my last video was definitely a Pokemon video. And he's always like, "Yeah, I'm excited to see your next workout vlog," or all this, and this. He's like, "I've been keeping up with the vlogs." I'm like, haven't done any vlogs in forever. But it just I just find it funny. I didn't know if you had ever had a similar situation.
I don't think. See, I just don't think that I know enough people. I actually like grateful for it, but a lot of our subscribers are people we do not know. I know our first like 10 are people that we know, and our 200th was for sure someone I know. But other than that, like I've reached out and I've talked to like I admittedly haven't watched any of his streams. Just haven't been able to catch him.
Good. They've been good.
Sweet. Yeah, check out, what is it? A Hero Airy? AHIRU.
If you put that in, bleep his name.
I will. Yeah, I will. I know it's like a character. Yeah.
It's just been like we've been trying to figure out how to do that exactly. Because he's trying to keep it anonymous. But a Hero Airy on Twitch, dude, his streams. I watched one the other night. He went for his birthday. He went for 9 hours, and I caught the last 4 of it. And he high energy the entire time. Chat was active. He had like multiple people who were staying in chat, like talking and interacting. He did Microsoft Paint for a while, and to end off the stream, he made the Last Supper in Microsoft Paint. but everybody that was watching. Like he
Oh,
drew
that's
everybody that was
cool.
watching, and then he made it his Twitter header.
That's
It was pretty
cool.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of those, but I did watch some other stuff. Um, I don't think so. Like when I was posting stuff on my personal channel, I had some people that I knew, like they weren't strangers. And
Mhm.
I didn't hate them, but they were like, "Hey, good videos. It feels like we're hanging out again." I was like, "Thanks, especially coming
Oh
from
yeah.
you."
Yeah.
Um, and then even someone, someone I wasn't great friends with, still friendly, but he was like, "Hey, like good shit, dude. Just keep going. Thank you."
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
about that. I do, especially always having that struggle and just now
Yeah.
uh, trying to do something about it. You know. And then what's the thing you saw on Twitter?
So okay, so you know how KSI was supposed to fight Dylan Dennis, like the MMA fighter?
Yeah. Oh, he's fighting Temper now, right?
Dude, yeah. He's fighting FaZe Temper, which it makes no sense to me. I think Temper is gonna get rocked.
He lost his
Like
last fight, right?
he got knocked out by Slim. Why does he think he's gonna beat KSI? Like he lost in a like a not, it wasn't even a main event. He got knocked out in like a pre-fight. I can't remember what they're called.
Like an undercard.
Yeah, he lost in an undercard and then immediately goes to main event. It's like I think they should have given it to Slim. I think it should be KSI versus Slim. The only reason I think they gave it to him is because Sidemen versus FaZe is gonna sell more than UK versus UK.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
they felt like it wasn't gonna bring an American audience if it was Slim versus KSI,
do
which it would
they?
have. It's all money.
Oh yeah, I mean the entire YouTube thing is all about money. That's actually why I really like Creator Clash, which was like
Yeah, the Creator Clash was fun.
totally for charity.
Or
It's
Ludwig's event, the chess boxing.
I didn't watch it, but I heard it was good.
That was interesting. That was interesting.
Um, no, the Creator Clash I liked because it's like iDubbbz is
Yeah.
like, hey, I have a shit ton of money, shit ton of subscribers. I don't really need it. And he's like, I'll capitalize on the YouTube boxing thing, but we'll donate it and we'll pay our staff and stuff
Yeah.
like that, of course. And then Dr. Mike is like, I mean, I'm a doctor and I have, I don't know what, 10 million subscribers. He's like, I make
Yeah.
money at my day job and I make money
Mhm.
on YouTube. So like, yeah, fuck it. And
It was pretty cold when he was like, I'm gonna prescribe these hands.
yeah. And then iDubbbz is like, that was cool. That was cool.
He was like, I'm not gonna lie, that was really cool.
Yeah, I love how see something like that too. I know that to promote a fight, you have to start some sort of tension, which is
Yeah.
what happened with like Dr. Mike's last fight. Um,
Hmm.
Nate Diaz was involved in that and everything.
Yeah.
But and so it got kind of grimy. Like if you've watched any sort of UFC, you know that Nate Diaz is just I'm not gonna say a
Yeah.
punk because I like
It's
watching him,
ideas.
but he's kind of a punk. Like he likes to stir the pot.
Yeah.
And so with his camp involved, it got a little dirty. But with like iDubbbz and Dr. Mike, they were like, we don't hate each other. We're just gonna hit each other. That's all. And then
Yeah.
Dr. Mike was like, dog, iDubbbz has a chin. Like I tried to knock his ass out. It just
Yeah.
didn't work. But
The
yeah.
respect after the fight is always really cool to see.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you watch these two guys go to war, like spend months of their lives sacrificing everything to stay in camp just to try to kill the other person, basically.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, being able to shake hands and be like, "I respect you." Like that's really cool.
Yeah. And no boxer is in perfect shape. Like I feel like if you're
Yeah.
feeling totally fine, you just didn't do it right. I've never trained boxing, but I know that, like a 12-week camp going into it or, 16 weeks or whatever, it's hell. And then also to make
Yeah.
weight, you're dehydrated and starving. And so literally like 24 hours after your official weigh-in, you are trying to pound food and water and then also
Yeah.
keep working out because you have to make sure you're in tip-top shape and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like they're already tired and beat up and they're already going into the fights tired and beat up. There are UFC fighters, boxers that go into fights with broken fingers and broken hands
Yeah.
and stubbed toes, jam fingers. But that always blew my mind. Like I played football from like 4th grade to sophomore year. I quit because of
Mhm.
concussions. But like playing line with jammed
Mhm.
fingers fucking sucked. I hated it. I
Yeah.
hated getting my toes stepped on. My pinky toe was swollen all the time. But like hitting
Yeah.
somebody with jammed fingers, I always had my shit buddy taped. Like taped together. It
My
hurt.
knuckles would always get like messed up because like when I'd block, I like hit them like this on people all the time, and dude, my hands would always be bleeding in football, like
Yeah,
from trying to not it's not swim, but like rip past people
rip.
like that.
Yeah.
It always like hit their shoulder pads or their something and like rip the skin off.
Yeah, but I could not
Just little
imagine.
little stuff like that
I
was
I could not imagine punching a dude, with my hands feeling like that.
yeah. Mm,
And that even on the YouTube level, it's that same way. Because they're
yeah.
they're trying. Some are at least. I don't think all of them are trying because they're just gonna get the money anyway. But
Churdley's, do you know Churdley's?
yes,
Yeah.
the
He
comedian or like he does the comedy
yeah.
videos.
He went in and just straight up said like, yeah, I'm doing this for the money. Like, I know I'm not going to win. I just know I'm going to make a bag. I'm going to get my bag and I'm going to leave. And it showed in the fight because he got his ass kicked. But he got his bag at least.
Yeah, gotta respect it. I mean, I would too. I watch the Pat McAfee show all the time, and he talks about how
Yeah.
there were dudes. He played on super losing teams, like 3-win teams, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna lie, there were dudes that they were good football players. Obviously, they're playing in the NFL, but if you were losing like that, there was no pride. They were like, I'm still getting paid millions of dollars, so like, I don't care if I lose. I'm like, I personally don't feel that way.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
hate
wouldn't be able to
losing,
say
but
that.
at the same time, I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
that's true.
Like if I was getting
Yeah.
paid millions of dollars uh to make this podcast, I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll just film a 16-minute episode. We'll talk about what
Yeah.
we need to. Hop off. Cool.
And
Made $10,000 or whatever.
I feel with like losing teams in like the NFL, the only people that really got to be worried are like the quarterback and the coach. Because that's like the main people that kind of gets blamed on. Because like Derek Carr just got benched,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it's not his fault, but I also think most of it's on our coach too, the Raiders coach. But
Yeah.
like that those are the two people that gets blamed on most. So like money wise, I feel like everyone else is kind of set, even if you're losing. But like the quarterbacks kind of got to have that in the back of their minds. Like I might get benched next season if we don't start winning.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that even goes to show like guys who do want to win, the last pick of the draft last year is the starting quarterback for the 49ers. Last pick
Mhm.
ever. The nickname
He's good.
for that spot is Mr. Irrelevant. And he has
Mhm.
3 or 4 straight wins. And so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
what do you do with the guy that was, I'm going to say rumored, I don't know the inside, but the guy that was supposed to get traded in Jimmy Garoppolo, or the guy that you picked in the first round in Trey Lance? Like, what do you do with them? The guy who was literally, he was supposed to do worse than a guy who didn't even get drafted, because Mr.
Mhm.
Irrelevance have a history of just not playing. They don't make the team, or if they do, it's a practice squad. That him being a quarterback is crazy on top of being the last pick of the draft. And so like what do you
He
do
was
with the
like,
like I don't he may not be
so
as
what is the name Mr. Irrelevant? I was confused by that. Is that just like for every third string spot, or is that just like a 49ers thing?
no, it's the last pick of the NFL draft gets the tag Mr. Irrelevant. So it could be
What? That's so.
it could be a defensive lineman picked at like 256 or 260 something, and he gets tagged Mr. Irrelevant. It's kind of shitty. People like it. I don't like it because I mean they
I
had to
would
get
hate
there.
that. Yeah.
And that's even shittier because if you're undrafted, then the guy who did get drafted is tagged irrelevant, so that's only going to make you feel even worse. Looking on the outside in, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I didn't get
Yeah.
drafted, so I guess I'm just complete dog shit. Like
Yeah.
obviously, you know,
That's crazy that he was that. Dude, it was like there was a stat, which is crazy that this is even a stat, but he was like the first quarterback to beat Tom Brady in their first NFL game ever.
there was also a stat. It was like back-to-back weeks he had beat a Super Bowl winning head coach and a Super Bowl winning quarterback or something like that. It's such a specific stat, but
He's
just
he's a dog. He's
he plays, yeah. Yeah, and he's like my age or like my fiance's age, like
yeah.
23.
The 49ers have some fucking tools on their team.
They're a great team, and I hate
Christian
it.
McCaffrey. McCaffrey is
Dog.
a beast. Like I was watching them. They played the Raiders, so me and my friend who is a huge 49ers fan watched it together. And dude, blood pressure was so high that game just because it was like tied, and then somebody would score 2 seconds later, tied again, and then like the Niners just had to make a field goal to win the game, and then they missed it, so it was tied. So we went to overtime. It was so much going on.
Yeah, I'm a Rams fan, and the Rams do awful against the 49ers.
They're insane.
Um, yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Fair enough.
We've been going for about an hour. That was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this again.
Yeah, me too. And I'll go ahead. I wasn't going to say it, but I know that there's at least one person that I can think of that will probably watch. I don't want to bank on it, or listen. But this is a soft reboot. It's the same name, same people, but we did do, I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes.
7 or 8 episodes. And I think most podcasts fail after episode 7. So we need to get to 10 and we'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if we record another time sometime this week and just post it later or something.
We could do that.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a soft reboot. Don't think you're going crazy by, re-listening to episode 1. Totally different episode than it was. It was had to have been a year, maybe even a little over a year.
We were talking about New Year's. At the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
With Zeke, we were talking about it with its flaws.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't want to mention it just because I wanted to keep it down low. But since we're at the end of the episode, I will say, don't think you're going crazy. I promise this is a totally different episode. I think that both me and Ross are very excited. I will not be posting because we talk about laughable games. I will not. I guess I said my name in it, but I will not be posting a video version. I don't have my face in any of my videos, so
I'm cool with that.
Obviously, I'm not gonna lie. It's so easy to find out who I am. So easy. But won't be a video version. There will be audio only. I'm very excited to keep recording more. I like just sitting down and talking, especially to one of my best friends. And
same to you.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a good time. Great year. I think we're in for a lot this year.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Later, everybody.
See ya.